Got to figure out if you're willing to do it. Are you willing to do it? And this is going to be a reach. My dad touched on this. But anybody know who Meatloaf is? Come, show of hands. Who knows who Meatloaf is? Okay. Somebody help me out here. I will do anything for love. Say that again. But I won't do that. When I go here, and I can't use this demonstration very much longer just because of the age, but I call that the Meatloaf mentality. People our age have that Meatloaf mentality in a lot of things that they do. And I'm not saying people in this room, because obviously you've come here. But people our age have that idea that I will do anything to make that kind of money. Oh, but you mean I gotta get up early, like my dad said? But you mean I gotta do this? I gotta go to that conference? The people that are successful are the ones that identify what they have to do and make a clear, conscious decision. Am I willing to do that? Yes or no? If you say yes, do it. Don't cut corners. Somebody asked me earlier, what time do you get up? I was telling somebody a story. I've got an alarm because I sleep through I could sleep through a nuclear bomb going off. Could absolutely sleep through anything. So I have to get a creative alarm, for the morning because I get up early. I got to find something that'll wake me up. And so I get up each morning to Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. And it is like as loud as it can go. And I didn't realize that, when you get married, there's somebody else in the room when you wake up. And she got tired of waking up at 4:15 every morning to Led Zeppelin. She's not as big a fan as I am. But I was waking up at early in the morning, 4:15. I read for an hour. I go work out for an hour, hour and a half. I come back and I get my work done. Why? Because the people that I met with said, if you want to be successful, here's some of the things you need to do. And I've had a number of conversations today, and one of the mentors that I had before I graduated said there's two things in life you want to do. And I encourage you to write this down. There's two things in life you want to make sure that you do. When you're around people you respect, if they encourage you to go meet somebody, go meet them. If they encourage you to read something, go read it. Those two things. So if there's a professor out there, or there's somebody that you networked with last night and said, you know what, I really want to introduce you to so-and-so. Do whatever we need to do to go out there and meet those people. If for no other reason than it shows the respect you have for the person that recommended it to you. So they encourage you to go out there and meet somebody or go connect with somebody, I'll send an email. If Carrie Zimmerman was here, she'd be able to attest to this. We grabbed lunch a couple weeks ago, and she said, you really need to meet the new dean of the business school. I went home. I sent an email to Dean Erickson. I said, I know you don't know me. Here's a little bit about me. I graduated from TCU. Carrie Zimmerman told me to introduce myself to you. I'd love to go out and grab breakfast or lunch with you if you get a chance. He sent me an email back and said, how will December 9th work? We went and grabbed lunch. I met him. It's been one of the neatest guys I've met at TCU. Just a great guy, but Carrie recommended it. I have a lot of respect for her. I went and did it. End of story. We're talking about websites and books. People have recommended books. I'll write them down. I'll go read them. So when we go through this process and we start talking to these mentors and start talking to people that have had success, if they encourage us to go do something, we need to go do it. And if we're not willing to pay that price, if we're not, if somebody says to be a successful speaker, and this is something that I encountered, to be a successful speaker, you have to be willing to be on the road 200 days a year, 150 days a year. Are you willing to do that? And last year, from a part in November all the way into January, I was gone 37 out of 42 days. That's a lot of time. And if you like hotel rooms, spend 37 out of 42 days away from your bed. But that's one of the things I had to make up my mind about before I ever went into that. And it goes into the research. Somebody asked a question yesterday. What happens if you get into a job and it's not what you expected? Well, of course that can happen. There's some things that may be hidden. But if we do the adequate research and we talk to people that have had success and talk to people that are in the middle of it and talk to enough people, we'll get a good idea of what that job is like. We'll get a good idea. And so if you're not willing to do it, if you look at all those things, if they list out 10 things that you're going to have to do to be successful at that, and you're not willing to do it, get out and do something else. Do something else that you're willing to commit to 100%. I don't care if you want to be the national ping pong champion. go out and practice ping pong as hard as you can, because the deal is if we don't work hard at it, obviously we're never going to be good, but we're never going to find any satisfaction in it. Because I'm sure the professionals here, people that have worked, can tell you, there's going to be bad weeks. Anybody worked and had a bad week? You know what's worse than having a bad week? Having a bad week at a job you hate. Because it makes it 10 times worse. Because if you had a bad week at a job you love, I've had those, I love my job, but I've had bad weeks. The fact that you love your job allows you to accept those bad weeks. But when you hate your job, and you hate what you do, and you dread it, and then you have a bad week slapped on top of it, there is nothing worse. So we need to either identify whether or not we're willing to do what's recommended, or we're not. That's up to you. But if we're not, get out. If we are, go full force.